Hello,
Hello.
hello. Welcome to Content Creators Connect. Here we're all about encouraging the three C's, connecting with others via video, content development that builds your personal brand, and creators sharing their experiences despite their distance.
And we'd like to welcome you. We have a MIA person, and as you see here, unless Manny's just very good at holding a still portrait for, I don't know, 45 minutes. I don't think he'll be able to do that. He's actually off being a coach to his racquetball team. So, wishing him all sorts of luck and sending positive vibes to him and his team. So, but today we're going to have Dory, also known as Dispense, using her superpowers to install confidence in those around her and helping others become experts in their own adventures, giving some awesome wisdom today. So, looking forward to the topic. So, Dory, you seem very passionate about live streams, and why don't you tell me why?
Well, I have basically built my entire brand on live streams and, more to the point, life streams. So I absolutely love sharing who I am and what I do with my online peeps. So I think it's really important that even though we connect via technology, we try to make each other feel like we are together in the same room. And I feel like the best way to do that is to share our life experiences with each other. And for me, it's just 100% about connection. What about you, Kevin? Have you used live streams, or you're going to hear me use the term IRL streams in your content creation? And if you have, what's a benefit that you found of them?
No, I absolutely have. And I love doing it because if you're doing live streams out from your regular studio, people are familiar with your background already. And sort of when you first set up, they ask all sorts of questions. But after a few episodes of going live, they recognize everything. But by doing a live stream, you're taking them out into the environment and they are going to be asking all sorts of questions like, where are you? What are you doing? Why? And I love it because it provides that next level of engagement to get them involved in your live stream. So I know that you have done it quite often, Dory. So why don't you tell me more, and why don't we just jump on into that content right away? But first, if this is a type of content that you would like to see more of, please consider hitting that, where are we, that subscribe button, and hit that notification bell so you know that when we go live. So why don't head on over to the content.
I cut you off, Kevin. I'm so sorry. All right. So, IRL streaming. We've heard people talk about live streams. We've heard people talk about life streams. We've heard the term IRL. And we've also heard the phrase in real life streaming. And so, my goal tonight is to talk about each and every one of those, give a little bit of insight into what exactly they mean, and more to the point, why IRL streams are an absolute must for any content creator out there. So, without further ado, let's jump right into IRL streaming. All right. So, the first question is, what exactly is IRL? I mean, there are so many acronyms out there in the industry. Here's yet another for us to contend with. So, IRL stands for in real life. And in essence, it's where the content creator shares real life experiences with their viewers. For example, travel vlogs, documenting your outdoor adventures, as you can see in the picture on this slide, which was also used for the thumbnail for this video. I am streaming while kayaking on the lake out at camp. It could even be something as simple as just streaming your daily routines. So, IRL is for me my happy place. Now, there are different types of streams, and we have talked about a lot of these in the past, but I just want to, for the sake of argument, just quickly go through what each one of these mean. So, the first type of stream that you have is a pre recorded stream. Now, with a pre recorded stream, that is probably the strictest in terms of content. It is scripted, it is edited, sometimes heavily so. There is no real time engagement. It is just you interacting with your camera, possibly recording yourself doing an outdoor activity like kayaking or biking. But the difference is that your audience is not seeing it at the same time you are performing those actions. Then we move to live streams. Now, live streams are exactly what we do here on C3 every Sunday night. This is a live stream. It's either educating or entertaining, or as we like to say here at C3, edutaining. Um, Oftentimes, it's things like panel discussions, gaming, um, music performances, talk shows. One of the big differences that people tend to overlook with live streams versus live streams is a live stream may in fact still be scripted. Take for example a talk show format, or even take for example, Kevin, what we do here, right? We have an outline of talking points. We have an agenda. We also have a pretty solid routine on the show. Introductions, we talk a little bit about our personal viewpoint, we dig into the content, and then we end with our connect section where we kind of circle back and give our final thoughts about how the topic impacts us personally. That is a scheduled routine that we follow week after week after week. So now we move to live streams. Oh, one final point about live streams. It does still allow for real time engagement. So, for example, we have about half a dozen people or more watching with us right now. So, as soon as they drop a comment on one of our streams, we'll see that and we'll be able to react to that and with them in real time. Now we move to live streams. And here's where we see a little bit of a difference. So, a live stream is still getting streamed in real time. And here, for example, is a comment coming in real time, almost on cue, Kevin. Thank you. And, you know, when we live stream, we're still doing it in real time, but we are focusing on real life activities. And I want to stress the word activity. For example, travel. You are going on a trip and you want to document your adventure while you travel. Grab the phone, push the live button, and immediately your audience, your viewers, your community can be with you as you're getting on that plane for the first time as it's actually happening. Outdoor activities, usually involving action, but not always. Personal thoughts, beliefs. So, kind of like a vlog or an online video diary of your opinions, your values, or even just your day to day living. Now we move to the last type of stream that I have on here, repurposed content. So, repurposed content is also valuable because it's not scripted, it's recreated from one of the other three types of streams that you see on screen: pre recorded, live stream, or live stream. And you can take the content from these pre recorded or other types of videos and edit it so that it can be used on other platforms or maybe even in a different way on the same platform. For example, let's say next week we decided to interview someone here on C3. And during the stream, they dropped this amazing nugget of information, right? We can take that, we can edit out that exact portion, and then we can craft, say, even a short form video around that one particular comment. So, repurposed video is another form of stream. It's one that some people delve into, and others kind of shy away from it a little bit. I am of the latter because I don't like editing. That's also another reason why I love live streams, aka also life streams. Okay, so now let's talk about how to use live streams, IRL streaming, to unlock your potential and your power. So, the first thing I want to talk about is using IRL streams to connect and engage with your audience. So, if you take a look at some of those bullets up there on the screen, what content creator would not want to create a deeper connection with their viewers? Who doesn't want to find and nourish an engaging community? Right? I want people who are joining me to trust me. I want them to understand that the content that I'm sharing is authentic and true. And so by sharing these real life experiences that you have, you can create those deeper connections and you can build that more engaging community. And you do that by sharing your thoughts and feelings. And you connect with people on a more personal level. When you connect with somebody on a personal level, that's where you build that trust and you build that loyalty with your viewers. Ultimately, all of these things that you see here will help drive your growth and increase your reach. Now, I want to talk for just a moment specifically about the last three bullets. Authenticity and transparency are absolutely vital in building trust. When I watch content creators, when I watch them on their streams, I am drawn to people who are relatable and authentic. For me, raw, unfiltered, unscripted shows, those are the ones that show us who people really are. They show not just the Instagram version of what you want to put out there in the world. It shows you in all of your glory, your perfections, your imperfections, and everything in between. And to me, in my experience, and those of you out there watching, please let us know if you agree with this. People want relatable content. Do you agree with that, Kevin?
Yes, I
You're
do have to
muted.
find my mute button. Yeah, absolutely. 100% agree with that.
I have you ever watched a stream where I'm going to come back to me for a second so I can look at you. Speaking of connection, have you ever watched a stream where you've pulled it up online because you are dying to either watch something in action, or you're struggling to learn about something, and you start watching something and then you turn it off?
Actually, yes, I have. Um, there's this one channel that I do follow, and they've been playing with different formats lately of they usually do pre-recorded, so of course it's all the perfection, the perfect edits and everything. But then they've been going live the last little while, and it's very interesting to see the different personality um, come across. So I'm actually watching the live, and it's like I'm not as interested in this because it's not as entertaining, I guess, whenever I watch it. So they're able to edit it, their pre-recorded stuff into an entertainment package that will keep me engaged. But their live version, it seems to be a different type of personality, almost like Jekyll and Hyde, between live and recorded content that they did. So it's just very interesting. And I have seen that where it's like, no, I'm not liking this new format, so I'm not just decided not to watch anymore because I'm not gaining um, anything out of the live. They
Mm.
aren't providing those nuggets of wisdom to keep me engaged. Whereas you in your morning dispense dish, 100% keep me engaged. So totally watching and being entertained. And of course, I'm going to watch until the end because you just never know until you say goodbye what other nuggets of knowledge you may drop.
It's kind of scary. I'm not going to lie. Sometimes I don't even know what I'm going to say, which I guess leans into the spontaneity of it. But, you know, I digress. Um, yeah, so I was really interested because I've had the same thing happen to me. I've had situations where you search for something and only one or two videos come up. And so you don't have a ton to choose from. You watch them and you're like, ugh, it just it's like when you want ice cream and they don't have the flavor you really want, then you're stuck with having the flavor that you have to have. It's still ice cream. You're still meeting that need, but you're not meeting it in the way that you had hoped for, I guess. Speaking of weird things that I say, I just related live streams to ice cream. You're welcome. And now moving on to probably my favorite aspect of live streams, and that is personality. So, by the way, all of these photos that are in my presentation tonight are screenshots that I've taken of actual lives that I've done either on YouTube or on Facebook. So if I look a little wonky, it's because I literally did a screen grab while I was in the middle of talking. So my biggest takeaway with personality, first of all, you being able to stand out from the crowd by showcasing your unique personality and your experiences is going to set you heads and tails ahead of the daily grind of pushing out a video a day and editing and trying to do everything perfect. Your personality is what is going to find the perfect audience and the perfect community for you. So my takeaway is be who you are when you think no one is watching. And so when you're yourself online and you share those real life experiences, you can not only foster that relationship with your existing viewership, but you can attract new followers who resonate with who you are and they resonate with the message that you bring. And so for me, my biggest thing is I want people to understand that I am exactly who I am, whether the camera is on or whether the camera is off. And, Kevin, that example that you just gave about that content creator that you watch that just started doing lives, that's a prime example. They're either editing too much of a false personality in, or they're editing too much of their own self out. So, either way, you watch a recorded video and you're getting one vibe, and then you watch the person live and you're getting something completely different. So, for me, having my personality come out, I don't have to pretend to be someone else. This is me, uncaffeinated 24/7. So, I feel that that gives me new opportunities to really find the people that are going to with gel with me. And from a personal brand and a growth standpoint, if you think about that, every new opportunity, every new community that you foster has a chance for you to bring in additional revenue streams. And when you bring your personality out in your videos, it's going to allow you to differentiate yourself from your competitors. And I even hate to use the word competitor, but it it's other people who are producing the same content in your niche. And so that is by definition what a competitor is. Um, I really think that if 5 people on any given day put out a video demonstrating the exact same technique and how to do something, certain people are going to gravitate towards certain videos, and it could be knowledge, but more than likely it's appearance and personality and just something about them that's bringing A to B and C to D and just matching them up that way. So, again, my biggest suggestion with your personality, be who you are when you think absolutely no one is watching. And for the record, in case people can't tell, those are Grogu slippers that I'm holding up while wearing Grinch glasses and Snoopy pajamas at school for Winter Wonderland Day. Just thought I'd throw that out there.
That's awesome.
Okay, so the next aspect I want to talk about is some tips and tricks if you feel like you've not successfully incorporated IRL streams, or if you haven't attempted IRL streams yet, what can you do to really make the experience rewarding for not just you, but for your audience as well? So the first thing is you really should focus on engaging with your audience, engaging with people real time, calling out your community members by name on your streams goes a long way for building that trust, that relatable factor, that community. And doing that will actually serve to promote even more engagement. Because as people join your streams, they hear you talking to someone just as if you're sitting across the table at a coffee shop with them. It's going to make them want to participate and engage with you. And in addition to that, asking for feedback. You'll notice on our C3 streams, we are constantly asking for people to not just give us feedback on the content we're producing right now, but also talk to us about things we've produced in the past. And more importantly, tell us what you want to see in the future, because that is really where the magic happens. Finding out what your audience needs and then filling that need. Um, Collaborating with other content creators. Now, here's one where, um, I mean, we're the epitome of that right here on C3, but finding other content creators who are willing to get on camera with you and just dish the dirt. Talk about things that people don't necessarily talk about. Everybody wants to present that perfect scenario, that perfect vision of everything. And they don't want to talk about being in the trenches, and they don't want to talk about the 20 times they failed before they succeeded. That's where getting in touch with and collaborating with other content creators will really help your your IRL streams, because they've already done it. They know what works, they know what doesn't work, and they're willing to talk to you about it, which is important. Which leads me to my next bullet point, which is make mistakes. Please, everyone, make mistakes with your streams. I cannot tell you the amount of times that I have just done hiccup after hiccup after hiccup, and you just have to laugh. You just have to absolutely laugh about it. So, in this particular picture, I am in my car. It is obviously 80 degrees in the middle of summer. And um, I'm talking about my follow up to an eye surgery that I had, where I had to go and have a checkup. And I was discussing some of the drawbacks to it and talking about the differences between what my left eye and what my right eye sees. And it was literally just my phone in the holder, just talking to the camera. And the first time I did the live, I realized that somehow my audience was set to only me on Facebook. And I couldn't figure out why no one was joining. Because usually when I hit the go live button on Facebook, like at least like a dozen people hop on pretty quick within the first 2 minutes. And I'm like, wow, nobody's here in the middle of the day? That's so weird. And so I went live to myself. And then I went live immediately after and just laughed hysterically. And people were dropping in the comments like, you didn't realize like nobody was with you? I said, I don't look at the number. I don't look at the number. So it wasn't until the end that I was like, wow, I have no viewers. That's so weird. And I'm a tech teacher. So for a tech teacher to make a mistake like that, um, but there's other things that you can do in addition to just getting in touch with people to bounce ideas, talk about mistakes, talk about successes. You know, do a Q&A session. Do other things that showcase how you're building community. You want to talk about an inception stream? Do a life stream about your life streams and how they help foster bringing in the people that you want to bring in. But ultimately, at the end of the day, all of these things are meant to not only strengthen the audience that you have, but to expand your reach and grow your audience with new people. And I think ultimately, the best way to do that is don't be afraid to push the button and be authentic while you're doing it. So now I want to move into just a couple examples. So once again, let me talk about my photo that's here first. This was a live stream that I did when I first experienced an electric toothbrush. And yes, in case you were wondering, I kept the stream going while I was actually brushing my teeth. So it wasn't just a review of holding up a toothbrush, it was me putting it on, brushing my teeth, hearing the buzzer go off, and just experiencing it for the first time with people on stream. And it really made for a hilarious time. If people were leaving comments like, I can't believe I'm watching you brush your teeth. And I was like, I can't believe you're watching me brush my teeth either, while I had a mouthful of toothpaste. So, you know, did I have to do that? No. Did I have questions for people who had used electric toothbrushes? Did they really work? Did I just waste my money? Yeah, I had a lot of questions. So I figured the best way to find out the answers was to go to the people that would know. And so I went to my Facebook stream. So that was fun. But a couple other examples that I have, and I'm actually going to switch to another screen here in just a second. So um, there on Twitch, there is a station. I call it a station. I'm not super familiar with Twitch channel, I think it is. It's called Just Chatting. And that is literally all about people doing IRL streams about anything and everything under the sun. So if you really want to engage with people real time and just see what's happening out there, go to Twitch, find the Just Chatting channel, and hop on in there. Now, let me head over. I'm going to switch screens. Okay. So these are some of the examples that I just had listed on the screen. And the first one is Pokimane. So her name is Imane, I think. And she's really into all sorts of things. They call her, if you look at her about page, you can call me Pokimane. It's kind of a play on Pokemon. And she is all about doing live streams. She gets on and talks about a lot of different things, which I actually, oh, Kevin is on Twitch. Classic Mac. Got it. Everybody head over to Twitch and find Kevin, Classic Mac. But she, if you look at this, there is a wide array of videos that she has out. So here's one talking about a fitness journey, and she's streaming from the gym. Here's one where I actually was going to watch this one. I watched a precursor to this where she talked about taking a break from streaming for a while and just needing to step away from videos and social media. And then this one she just posted as one of her videos coming back. Here's one, she's just walking the streets of New York City, going to the dentist. The beautiful thing about this is that it's just her sharing her life and all aspects of her life, the good stuff and the not so good stuff, you know? Um, and so I thought this channel was really good. I she's a little young for me, as far as demographically speaking, but she's entertaining. I do enjoy watching the few videos that I did see. So that's one example. Another example is this Ice Poseidon. Now he's interesting. He is all about real life stuff, but he definitely has a very specific audience that he's speaking to. And part of what he's doing now is a reality stream called Scuffed Brother. And so he streams that. It's very much like the old school Big Brother where people stay together and then they capture all the footage and go from there. But here, just take a look at this thumbnail right here. He's literally sitting in the bathtub with his dog, talking about an update as to where he's been. Now, this video is 3 years old, but still, you know, and the other thing is a lot of these thumbnails, they're not super professional. They're just him and a screen grab from the live stream. Now you take this one. This one's obviously, he spent some time on that thumbnail to then hop into the video. But here's just a photo that he took and then put some text over it. So when people are concerned about IRL streams, how are people going to receive them? What if I don't have professional thumbnails posted with them ahead of time? You know, don't worry about that. It's This guy's got 700,000 subscribers, and this is literally a screen grab. That's his thumbnail with some text over it. That's fine. He got 100,000 views on that video. I don't think the thumbnail's a problem. And then you have the other one that I had posted on there, Matt Dialvia. Hang on just a second. I forgot to bring up his channel. And so he's all about minimalist living. His videos run the gamut. He's doing a lot of fitness things. He's talking about buying a house, and he's also talking about other things like technology and gear. He's a cinematographer as well. And so he has a lot of interests, a lot of things to bring to the table, and he does it all pretty well on this channel. Again, here's somebody, he's got over 3.5 million subscribers, 412 posted videos, and he didn't always do minimalistic stuff. So there's another point I wanted to make about the IRL streaming. Just start streaming. You may not know what your topic is right now. You may not know what your niche is right now. Just start streaming about the things that interest you, and you'll eventually find your way. So, I really enjoy him a lot, and I have followed his journey for a while. And then, here's the start of my new channel. So I stream every morning on Facebook, and I do my dispense dish videos. Okay. This is me at my desk at school. I've got my little camera set up. I've got my little microphone set up, and I talk about different things. I have a theme for each day of the week. Monday is Crush Monday. Tuesday is Tech Tuesday. Wednesday is Hump Day Hurdles. And each day I come up with something within that theme to discuss. And there's nothing, it's totally unscripted. It's sometimes completely bizarre and off the wall. And I go down a complete rabbit hole about just weird things, but I enjoy it. I love starting my day with this level of energy. I love starting my day with talking to people. And so what I started to do was push that over to YouTube. Now, here's some examples of ones where I went back after the fact and I made a thumbnail, and then I uploaded the thumbnail. Now, one of the things you notice is that some of these videos are in vertical format, which is what I used to do. I used to just plop my phone on a holder and go live in vertical format. I've since changed that up to now accommodate horizontal streaming, but here's one. Here's a live video that I did that was almost an hour long. And sorry, I'm going to take my cursor away from that because I didn't realize it keeps repeating. But I didn't upload a thumbnail to that. That was a stream that I did in honor of my sister. It was her birthday, and it's the first birthday since we've lost her. And it was incredibly emotional for me. Um, but I felt like I needed to do it. And the reason I felt like I needed to do it was because I am far from the only person who has ever lost someone unexpectedly who was their world. And so in celebrating them, we honor them. And when people see that you're a real person and you cry and you stumble with your words and you struggle to comprehend why things happen, I think it's important that people know that. It's not all about the crazy, wild aspect of me. Like, I am a person who has every range of emotion under the sun. And so, if I only streamed the weird stuff and I only streamed the happy stuff, I'm the people that are connecting with me, my peeps, as I call you, you're not seeing who I really am, because that is also who I really am. And so, in conclusion, I just want to say IRL streams can be a powerful tool to help you connect with your audience, engage with your community, build trust, showcase your personality, and also to help grow your personal brand. So, if you take anything away from this, know that your real life experiences can inspire and inform others, other content creators, and just other people who are part of your community. And if you do not share yourself with them, let me repeat this so that you can see my eyeballs. If you do not share who you are with them, you are robbing the world of you. And that is the worst thing that we can do as content creators. I don't care how knowledgeable you are. I don't care what you know, how many years of experience. If you don't connect with your audience on a deep personal level, they're never going to get everything that they can get out of your streams. And so, with that, I'm going to be very curious to hear Kevin's take on all of this.
Well, as always, you always give good nuggets of wisdom and a lot of deep meaning behind the actual live stream to really get you thinking about how to produce content, how to engage your audience, and so a ton of great stuff once again, Dory. So good job.
Thank you. Thank you.
Um, my takeaways from this is I think that I just have a boring life. So to actually go and do a live stream such as brushing your teeth, I hadn't even thought about doing something like that. And to actually have people there watching you, that's that blows my mind, because to me I find that a very routine type of activity, but people want to know. Like you said, you want to be authentic. You want to be truly who you are. So I think that's a really good idea to be able to do something like that. But a couple of questions that did pop up into my mind while I was watching you go through this. You kept referring back to Facebook. Um, when you go live, like you have started from like 0 people watching to how many you get on a daily basis with your different channels. But how do you decide on what platform that you actually go live to and do these live streams?
That's a really good question. So, I guess my the easiest answer is wherever you feel most comfortable and where your community is. So, for me, I always steered away from YouTube simply because I felt like it was um, too scripted, too edited, and I said, nope, I ain't got time in my day to sit and edit videos all day long. I love being on the computer and I love learning tools like editing software, but to force myself to do it because I felt like it was another job wasn't going to be for me. So, and by the way, going live to YouTube is still a relatively new tool in the overall scheme of things with the platform. Um, Facebook did it first, and in a lot of regards, I just love the way they do it. I like how intuitive the app is for interacting with your audience. I love the idea of reactions. I live for that stuff. When I see people start throwing up hearts and everything, it likens back to, I don't know if you ever used Periscope.
Yep.
Yep. So energy in is energy out. And so when people are engaging and interacting, even if it's just tapping that heart button 1,000 times, it pumps me up. It gets me energized, and I know like I'm connecting with somebody. So to answer your question, Facebook is where I have built my community. I do not have a community yet on other platforms. I'm working on it. But for me, I will always stream to Facebook in addition to other platforms.
Yeah, 'cause that's sort of where I'm struggling right now. Is like I would love to be able to do those live streams, but the platform, like to go to multiple locations at once, is very tough to monitor your chat and your everything coming in if you're just on your mobile phone. So to direct your energies towards something like Facebook or Twitch and doing live streams from your phone as you're going about that, you're able to interact and engage with the audience a lot better and connect with them that way, as opposed to like what we're doing here. We're going live to multiple locations. So uh, to try and get all of that in on your mobile device so you can say, hey, Dory, I see you're over on Facebook. And also, you don't want to say, hey, and you're missing out on somebody over on Twitch, for instance.
Right. I mean, right now, when you're streaming to multiple locations, you're kind of at the mercy of your software. But, again, just where's your biggest audience, Kevin? Like that's where you want to do the IRL stream real time.
Yeah.
And then take that repurposed content and then upload that video to another platform. People can still get to know your personality. They can still see you engaging in whatever activity it is. They'll just miss out on being with you at that time. But here's the thing, something I didn't talk about: FOMO. When people miss out on your streams real time and then they don't get a chance to engage with you because they have to watch it on the replay, that will force them, if they really want to, if they're really part of that community that you're building, they will join you live and it will build your live audience that way.
Mhm. Absolutely. 100%.
Yep. So I think I think you should make it a goal to do a live stream this week.
I absolutely will.
Yay.
Just trying to decide, okay, which channel do I go to? Because I have so many on the go, and I I like certain platforms over the other while I'm sitting at my computer, but to actually do a live stream from your phone, that's going to take some thinking, because I know one of my Facebook groups that I'd like to grow needs some tweaking on some of it so that people are aware of when I actually go live.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so yeah, it's going into some of the settings of some of those pages and communities and so forth. So
Right.
I'll be doing that right after we get off this call, or off
Yay.
after this video.
I'm gonna pull up, Kevin. You made a great point here. You asked a great question. I'm gonna pull this up on screen. Your weekly dispense dares. How do you get content week after week? Well, okay. I'm gonna bring you behind the curtain here. I'm the wizard and the Wizard of Oz. I don't pre-plan my content. I don't pre-plan it at all. I know, shocker, right? That's why some mornings I'm way more squirrel than others. So, a lot of times, my topics for my daily streams will come from something that happened the day before, the evening before. Maybe it's something I watched, maybe it's something I heard, maybe it was an interaction with a friend, a family member, a student at school. Um, or it could just be something that I woke up that morning just thinking about. And so I have about a 20-minute drive to school. And so in those 20 minutes, I'm just thinking about like, okay, what direction am I taking my day in today? And I try to veer it down a path that matches with whatever the daily topic is. Like if it's a hump day hurdle, I tend to talk about a struggle. Thankful Thursday, I talk about something, positive that happened. Or, if there wasn't anything like super positive, talk about finding the positive in things, and then Friday funnies or Friday follies, I think I call it. So that's just kind of like some hiccup that happened during the week, typically something funny to kind of end the work week with. But
Now,
yeah,
I like that
it's,
idea of having a topic for each day. Because, yeah, I would be the same way. It's like I'm thinking about stuff as I'm about to go live. How am I going to relate that experience into the topic of the day? So, no, I
yeah,
think
I
it's
have
good that you have that.
Yeah, and I've created hashtags for all of them. And so, at the bottom of every one of my streams for the day, it's, my dispense dish, and I've got my three emoji sign off. Um, and then I put the hashtag for the day. So hashtag Crush Monday will be tomorrow morning. And I don't know yet what I'm going to talk about. I have a feeling I know, but I don't typically lock it in until I'm typing it into the description window. So, but
Exactly.
yeah. So, well, I'm glad that you found it helpful, and I'm glad that you have some takeaways. And my hope is that just one of the people that are joining us tonight realize the value in IRL streams and somehow, some way, get up the courage to include a little bit more of who they are in their content creation process. So, any other parting words, Kevin?
No, thoroughly enjoyed it. So, thank you,
Awesome.
Dory.
Awesome.
So, my friends, since Manny's here, I get to take over his section. If you enjoy the content like this and finding it useful, we would love for you to like and subscribe. Sharing our content is a great way to also spread the love. So, also visit our website for information on all the ways you can connect with us. As you can see over there, it is Linktree linktr.ee/content creators connect. We are on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. And we also, like Dory had said in her presentation, we want to hear from you, not only for engagement, but to answer your questions. So if you have a topic that you would like us to deep dive into and do a episode on, let us know down in the comments so that we can provide you with our perspective and our opinions of what your question is.
And with that being said, we want to say thank you for joining Content Creators Connect, aka C3, tonight as we looked at IRL or live streams and how they can help you power up your game. We return next Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern, where Coach Manny will be bringing us some of his amazing nuggets of wisdom on what? We don't know. It's a surprise.
or
We
a
will be
secret.
or a secret. We will be multicasting live to YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. So be sure to join us. Until then, we urge you to identify and lean into your 3 C's. Start today creating unique content that builds connections and breaks down those barriers. See you next week.
Bye for now.